In this video, I'll be talking about APAAR ID, which is now the big thing for students and every student should have it. So what is it, how to get it, and what is the future of it? Let's talk about it. So everything about this website is available on the website of Ministry of Education. All the resources are there in form of basic resources and in form of small videos which are there. So I will leave the link in the description, but let's go and see all of them one by one so that you understand everything about APAAR. Now, let's go to the basic resource, which is the brochure which is there for the APAAR ID. So the basic fundamental idea behind this is that one nation, one student ID. Every student should have one ID which will be there with them till the end of their academic career, from school to college. So basically everything will be there, all records will be there. For simplicity, we can just assume and say that it's like the Aadhaar for students. So this is basically what it will look like. What has already happened is that 30 crore plus total number of these APAAR IDs have been created. 15k plus academic institutions have generated. 35 lakh plus academic records have been mapped. So already it's there, especially in higher education. So how is the ecosystem like? Now this APAAR ecosystem is like student will register. Minors basically with parents' consent will be required. So that is the big task which we have to do even in Meghalaya. Then schools will upload the students' academic activities, and the higher education institutes and others, can also access these records, academic records. So basically a lifelong repository of all your academic records will be there. So what are the benefits of this APAAR ID? Unified academic identity. So basically for every student there will be one ID, so we can remove all the kinds of duplication. Data will be very easy to get on any students, from where he studied and what all courses he have done, what all academic credits are there. It's also acts as a student ID proof, and it helps in seamless academic mobility. So this is what you have to understand, especially when transfers happen from one school to other. When you move from one school to other, there are always challenges. You have to produce so many documents. So now just this ID will be it's like your KYC. So everything will be there already, and the school where you are going can draw all the records from these basically available repository. Admission and employment. In the future, all the entrance exams and others can also use this. When you apply for university, it will become simple, and it's lifelong academic record. Sometimes what happens is we are used to keep it in a physical format. So sometimes it get lost or it get spoiled. So all those things will not be there, and the student life cycle monitoring can be there. So basically we can see from here how is the progress, how is the progression, and based on that, I think a lot of data mining can be done, and suggestive academic pathway can be laid for all these students. So all these benefits are there, which are very obvious. Now, how to create an APAAR ID? First thing will be, it has to be created by the school login via the UDICE Plus portal. So that's as simple as that. And then upon successful verification, the APAAR ID gets added to the DigiLocker as well. So DigiLocker is already there. You know that you can keep all your documents like driving license, there's that, all other documents there. And then it can be, anyone can pull it when required. So it's linked to Aadhaar. So this also, here also there will be Aadhaar which has to be linked. So now these are basically a few more advantages. Your academic passport for life. That's what. So storing all your achievements and credentials in one place, from school to higher education to lifelong learners. So this is an amazing thing, and it will be very, very useful. We have seen that how useful DigiLocker is. So on similar lines, this also will be very useful for students. So easy progress tracking, unified academic identity, skill gap analysis. This is very interesting, that the system will aid in skill gap analysis and provides industry relevant content for upskilling programs. So based on whatever records of students which are there, the kind of AI. It will work like a AI and do some kind of skill gap analysis. So that's also access through DigiLocker, the existing platform on the cloud where you can keep all the documents. So this is wonderful, and it will simplify so many things when it comes to ease of education. So it will help a lot. Then of course, what are the roots? From where is this coming? This is also very important to understand. So NEP talks about this, as it talks about making education more holistic and by integration of general and vocational education. So all these, vertical and horizontal mobility of students and learners between academic institutions. So so all these principles are enshrined in this concept of the APAAR ID, and it will help a lot. We all know about National Credit Framework, so this will integrate with that as well and help on so many things. So foundation to the pillars of NEP 2020: access, quality, accountability, equity, affordability, and flexibility. So these are the things which it is based on, the principles which it is based on. Next, we will see what are the key features of APAAR. So what is the full form? It stands from Automated Permanent Academic Account Registry. It's like a 12-digit number. For simplicity, once again, is the Aadhaar for all the students. So this will be supporting so many things as personalized learning. It will also help in tracking of out of school children. It's basically a comprehensive academic record. It will help in maintaining that, as every student can be uniquely identified, and whenever there is something to be mapped, that ID will be used for that integration. Other is monitoring and evaluation. Yes, we will see that it will work in tandem with the academic banks of credit, ABC, the VSK. So because this is like a unique key for all the students, so it will really help with all these things in a unique identification of all the students. And the best part is that this will stay for your entire academic life. So it's, that way it's very unique and a wonderful idea. Of course, all the features of data security and privacy have been ensured at the highest level, so you don't have to worry about that. Transparency, students can access their academic records from anywhere. So that's what. So now with simply by entering this ID and linking it with your Aadhaar, it will be easy for you to see. So if there is an issue, that can be flagged. So earlier, most of the records were kept by education institutes, and it was always difficult for students to get that. So this will definitely be very helpful in terms of getting that. Universalization of education, as it will facilitate tracking of each student's enrollment, attendance, everything will be there, and there is one single ID, and even if you move, simply your ID will be mapped from one school to other. So this will help in so many things. So these are some of the key features of APAAR. So now, most importantly, let's see the process flow, how this APAAR ID creation process will be there through the UDICE Plus portal. So the step one is that this is very important for the schools, that you have to organize a PTM where you will introduce APAAR and its unique cases and create this awareness basically on this APAAR ID, because initially people will not know, and the whole point of this video is also to spread awareness on this APAAR ID. Then the second step has to be done by the schools is to distribute consent forms. So consent forms is already available on the website as well. You can just download and or share the link with the parents so that they can fill it up and bring it to the PTM. So that will save a lot of time, because in this case all these students are minors, mostly in these schools. So you have to obtain parental consent. It's very important that parents fill up and sign the consent form that they have no issues with the generation of APAAR ID. Then step 4, basically you have to educate everyone on APAAR. Complete overview. You can use all these resource materials which are there on the website to spread awareness. Then you capture the consent. Then you go to the APAAR module in the UDICE Plus portal using the school login. And those schools which are needing help, they can take help from the block mission coordinators and the block MIS. The school UDICE coordinator or class teacher logs into the UDICE Plus portal, and after the PTM and navigates to the APAAR module which is there. You authenticate all the information which is there about the student, and then generate the APAAR ID. So this is what it is required, and then you can share APAAR ID with the concerned students and parents, and then they can generate, basically they can print out at any CSC, they can do a printout and make the APAAR ID. So in case of in case of any issues, then you have to see what are the error message, and accordingly you have to act. So this is very simple. There is a module in the UDICE Plus portal which the schools have to use by their login. But the most important fact here is the initial few steps where you have to conduct a PTM. All schools must conduct a PTM and get the consent of all the teachers for the APAAR ID. Now let's look at some of more information which is available on APAAR. APAAR as an enabler for all stakeholders, for schools. Obviously these are the benefits which you see for students. It is obviously having so many benefits, and for administration as well. So it's a win-win situation for all of us together in the education system. So we should take benefits of this APAAR ID. We have gone through the benefits, so you can read in detail if you want to. And then let's go to some of the questions. So why is parent consent required and important? So because students are below the age of 18, most of them. So that is why it is very much required that, as per the legal standards and ethical standards of which is there in India, the parent or guardian consent is required to generate, handle personal and sensitive information, including the education and identification data. Hence, this consent will be required. So the physical copy, they will fill it up, and then it will soft copy, basically scanned version, will be uploaded on the UDICE portal. Data safety. So I have already talked about this, that there are encryption standards, compliance with data protection laws, the access control and audit trails. Everything is there to make sure that everyone's data is safe and secure. Now, academic tank of credits, this is a concept which has been talked in NEP and is being implemented, and APAAR will help in the seamless implementation and integration of these credits across. So basically, when you move from school to college, you just have to mention your APAAR ID and all the records will be pulled. So it will be very beneficial that way. APAAR ID cannot be created without Aadhaar. So you need to have Aadhaar. So those students who do not have Aadhaar, I encourage all the parents to quickly ensure that your kids have Aadhaar, because it will be required for this generation of APAAR ID. And eventually APAAR ID will become kind of important going forward, where it will be required for so many things. So it will make your own tasks easy. So I really encourage every parent to take this very seriously. Go first. If you don't have Aadhaar, get Aadhaar and get the APAAR ID for your kids. Now let's look at some of the misconceptions which are there about APAAR. That APAAR is only for elite schools and higher education institutions, that is colleges and universities. No, it is not true, and it is for all students studying in school education, higher education, skill education, everything. It is for everyone. So APAAR is for everyone. The next is that APAAR data is not securely stored. We have talked about this. So many security features are there of highest standards. So it is by the system. It is being ensured that it's perfectly safe. So you don't have to worry about that. Next misconception is that APAAR ID generation is a complex process. As I have explained, it's such a simple process that parents' consent has to be taken, and in school have to log into UDICE Plus portal, and basically they can generate the APAAR ID. So this is the only thing is Aadhaar is required. So if you don't have, so then you can get the Aadhaar. That also you can get Aadhaar in the nearest Aadhaar enrollment center in 15 days. So that should not be an issue. Another misconception is a punitive system. No, it's a tool. It's not a punitive system. It's basically to streamline everything: academic records, administration, retrieving of records, a seamless transition from one school to other, from one school to college, and then it will really be helping the education system a lot. And so another misconception is that it's mandatory. As of now, it's not mandatory, but anyway, as you have seen, so many benefits are there that everyone should have. this is for your own good, for the good of administration and for the good of school. So everyone will win under this if every student has a APAAR ID. So let's quickly also see the overview of APAAR. So when it started, 13th February, these dates are there. You can see was launched by Honorable Minister of Education, Government of India. And then technical readiness was done, and then launch of generation campaign at schools. Then so many things have happened already. So these are some key decisions which have been taken. UDICE Plus as an end-to-end platform for APAAR ID generation. So every school basically is already familiar with UDICE Plus portal, and it is the same portal which you will use for APAAR ID generation. The consent forms which are there, which are available in the multilingual format for in all languages. So that's also a wonderful thing. A confirmation SMS will be delivered to parents. There is a IVRS facility also which has been set up in this regard. So that's also wonderful. You can call in case of any issues. MOU has been signed by CSC with CSC, and the validation of student detail as per Aadhaar card. So Aadhaar is already a KYC kind of a wonderful tool. So it's just simply linked with Aadhaar so that you don't have to do another kind of a KYC. And UDICE Plus will provide MIS report on APAAR ID creations and verifications. It's linked to the DigiLocker, RTE, SSA entitlement and all will be linked to APAAR, and an IT system in the state linked to VSK, basically Vidya Samiksha Kendra. It will be so many wonderful things which are there. And this APAAR ID, this is very important. All schools must note that this APAAR ID should be mentioned in whatever student ID you are issuing by the school, by your school. So you have to mention it. So this is the rollout strategy. Mega PTMs called by schools. This session on APAAR benefits. Basically, parents need to be told about the benefits of APAAR, and then parent consent in the physical form has to be taken. Then school has to go to UDICE portal, link it to Aadhaar. APAAR ID is created and stored in UDICE Plus. It can be shared. It can be linked to DigiLocker. School ID cards to print this ID number in their respective IDs, and confirmation SMS will be there. So this is the number. This is the APAAR helpline number which you can make a note of, and then for any support on verification it can be reached out. And basically this is the whole process of APAAR. So lastly, let's come to some frequently asked questions on APAAR. So what is APAAR? APAAR stands for Automated Permanent Academic Account Registry. It is part of the One Nation One ID program. As for simplicity, just remember it is like Aadhaar for students. So there are so many benefits which we have talked about, and just to simply understand that at any point of in future you can see all the academic records when transferring from one school to other, one school to college. It will be beneficial. So all these which we have already discussed in detail. Key features also. So it's lifelong basically. It's a centralized system. It's a credit transfer base. If lifelong identity it gives you, and it has so many other features which we have discussed in detail. So benefits are there. How APAAR is useful? Again, it is linked to ABC. It is linked to DigiLocker. It will be helpful for transitions to colleges, etc., etc. This also we have discussed in detail. How it is benefiting not just students, it is benefiting administration, it is benefiting the schools as well. What are the facilities which are mapped? Yeah, so this is important. So admissions can be very easy by using APAAR ID. Scholarship, concessions, credit accumulation, credit redemption, credit accounting, credit transfer from one institution to another, internship, certification, job application, so many things. This unique ID will be very, very beneficial. Yes, students can access and manage their academic records through the APAAR ID, which is linked to ABC and DigiLocker platform. So that's the beauty of it. The students can also see it. And another few questions we will see here. How do APAAR ID, that we have discussed in detail, the process and the prerequisites. So this is important. The name of the student as per the student record in UDICE Plus must match with the name of the student as per Aadhaar. So your name in UDICE and your name in your Aadhaar card should match, and pen of the student should be there. So I hope that all of the students of Meghalaya already have a pen number in the UDICE, so that should not be a problem. And UDICE Plus portal, we know what is UDICE Plus portal. So what all information is required for APAAR ID? UDICE Plus PAN number will be required, student name, date of birth, gender, mobile number, mother's name, father's name, name as per Aadhaar, and Aadhaar number. So these are the things which will be required for generation of APAAR ID. In case of troubleshooting, you just see what is the error message, and yeah, these are some of the other features. And lastly, what are the official websites of APAAR and ABC? So these I have shared, you can see on the screen, and I'll also share the link in the description, and you can go to these websites for more details. So to all the schools in Meghalaya, I want to encourage that we need to expedite this as soon as possible. So we will notify a date for a PTM, and you can go ahead and do it also. The consent form is already available on the website. So these APAAR ID you see is so useful for students, for school, for the benefit of school, and for the benefit of administration as a whole in education department. So we must expedite and start this generation of APAAR ID. And a few things which I want to highlight is that whenever you print the school ID, you have to mention this APAAR ID of student in their respective ID. So this is very important. Aadhaar is important. Aadhaar is needed, in fact, for this APAAR ID generation. So all those students who have not yet generated their Aadhaar, please go ahead and do that. I really encourage parents to do that, so that their APAAR ID can be generated, and we can ease, and in fact this will really help to streamline the education administration in Meghalaya. Thank you for watching.